Watch me now. I'm gonna strike it, fella.
The island doing shit. He gotten this baby back to the edge of the island, found Lowe's hide, run out, hung him up at the fence but no one seen him, run back, the tide has come up, leaves a note for his father, and is back on the island doing shit. So then he's la-di-da-di-da, caught himself a fish, frying up the fish, and he's able to catch fish now, because we don't know that wasn't in his fucking repertoire before, I don't know. Anyway, so he minded his own business, and do a bunch of zombies come near him?
Yeah.
And then,
He starts picking off a few,
but then, because of his newfound fucking amazing archery skills,
yeah, Robin Hood decided to
and then all of a sudden, these back flipping fuckers,
the Power Rangers.
It was literally like the Power Rangers. They were inhumanely flipping around the place in like matching tracksuits.
It's surreal, even for this world.
It felt like the Power Rangers.
But that's...
Now,
Go on.
is that a stylistic choice because Power Rangers would have been popular in 2002?
No, there's different, elements as well, because were they the Power Rangers or were they the Teletubbies? Because apparently they're the same colour tracksuits as the Teletubbies.
Okay.
He's also wearing a tiara, which...
Oh, Dipsy.
Was it Dipsy? One of them had, no, which one was
Tinky
it?
Winky?
Yeah.
Tinky Winky's one with the handbag.
One had a hat. I think one had a tiara. I don't know.
Lala.
Maybe.
Yeah, one of them anyway. Okay.
Or was it that? But then there's also... what?
They were watching
Teletubbies.
at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, when the kid leaves to go to the island the first day, picks up a Power Ranger toy, he's gonna put it in his bag, and he leaves it at home. That's meant to be him growing up and becoming a man. Whereas, alternatively, Jimmy would have been stuck in a case of arrested development, so he's still a child.
In his head.
Yeah, he never would have grown from the age of when he was watching.
Okay.
That was
Right.
a theory.
Okay, I haven't looked at any theories first time ever.
Yeah, I watched it a little bit after.
Okay. Okay.
But then it just felt, again, so unrealistic that they're parkour champions
Oh, no,
and doing
flip around.
flips and kung fu masters.
So, to backtrack a little bit as well, over the course of the film, we see a few zombie people hung upside down, and they've got like Jimmy carved into their chests and stuff.
And there's a
come in, they kill all the zombies, and the kid's looking, and it's Jack O'Connell?
Yeah.
Jack O'Connell. But for us who know now, so this character, Jimmy, and he's got the cross, so it's the child from the beginning of the film,
Yeah.
he then surmised. So we were like, oh, so Aaron Taylor Johnson's character isn't that character, this is this lad. So as you said, he hasn't developed, he's probably still stuck in this mindset of he's that young child at the beginning of the film, so his brain hasn't developed, who knows who's been around for the years. But he's dressed like Jimmy Savile, they're all dressed like Jimmy Savile, they're all in long wigs, tracksuits, and Jimmy Savile with long hair.
You okay? Do you need help?
No, I'm okay. No, we're going now. I'm pulling the gate open for this way.
Yeah, do you want me to close it?
Stop now. There's no need to be upset. There's no need. Are you going to behave in the car? Stop now. Being in a tracksuit?
Yeah.
Why?
Now, I just thought it was really tasteless. And
Very
unnecessary.
tasteless.
Because, like, there's still victims of Jimmy Savile living today.
Yeah.
It just felt like a really sick choice. Because their comment is, like, no one would have known. It wouldn't have come out about Jimmy Savile.
Yes.
So he still would have been this pop icon.
Yes.
I just don't think it was.
It's in bad taste.
It was in really bad taste.
Yeah. I know that he probably would have been a very popular TV presenter at that time, but I'm sure there's a million other TV presenters they could have picked.
No, it is apparently meant to be a comment on picking and choosing elements you remember from the past.
Okay.
Like I said, I just think it was really distasteful.
Yeah.
Irresponsible
Yeah.
to do that. Let Jimmy Savile die and his name never be spoken again or referenced.
Like, pick your man from Art Attack.
Yeah.
He's nice.
But I mean, I don't even think, because I would have been 12 in 2002. I wouldn't have known who Jimmy Savile was then. Like, he wouldn't have been front and centre in the public eye as he was in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. And like that not be like, and this isn't it, but you've got like family in England and stuff like that, so you would have been, and like
more
that,
exposed
but
to
then you would have been a lot more
British
exposed
culture.
because your parents well
Yeah.
and whatever. So like, yeah. Whereas I would have known the name
Yeah.
because I don't know when that first Louis Theroux documentary came out about him.
Yeah, I remember watching that, but I was like, who is he?
Yeah, I would have known from my parents.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that this child from 2002.
Because I was watching Teletubbies at that time, probably before that.
So 28 years later, so it's 2030.
Yeah.
So he's probably mid-30s. Like if he was 8, say.
Yeah.
He's 36.
Yeah, like.
An 8-year-old, I don't think would know who Jimmy Savile was.
Yeah.
Especially because they'd be younger than I was.
Mm.
And like I said, I just thought it was a really distasteful choice.
Yeah, they could have picked anyone.
Yeah.
Or just another presenter. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have
100,000
allegations.
Yeah.
Like, not even allegations. Just,
yeah. Like, I know you said that maybe it's to show that this character is evil because of what we know now.
Yeah.
But also, you
It's
have to do that.
unnecessary.
Yeah.
Now, as well, they said it could be, like you said, Cillian Murphy's in the next one.
Apparently.
Do you remember what Cillian Murphy was called in the first one?
No.
Jim.
Okay.
So they're saying it has to be a choice for 2 main characters in a movie to be called Jim.
Okay.
Like, are they all worshipping Jim? Because obviously we know he's survived now, even though we haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Are they followers of Jim? And he's the next
Yeah.
Jim. I don't know.
But was the child's name not Jimmy?
I can't remember if it was at the start. I don't know if I can't remember if they say Jimmy Roland or.
Yeah.
No, she would have said yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, like I said,
Just bad choice, I
very
think.
tasteless.
Yeah, very tasteless. And like surprised that that was
approved.
approved
Yeah. Yeah.
at all.
Just let him die.
Let him die. Screaming.
Approved.
Approved
Yeah. Yeah.
at all.
Just let him die.
Let him die. Screaming. Please, Eddie.
What do you just
Okay.
yeah. So to semi wrap up,
We've been here a while.
yeah, I think like a lot of people.
We've been here a while.
Yeah. I think like a lot of people are saying this is one of the best movies ever.
At all.
Just let him die. Like a lot of people are saying this is one of the best movies ever. Like, best movie of the year, and like it hasn't had that on us. But I suppose the only movie we've drastically disagreed on was Beau is Afraid, maybe Avatar. But I loved it. I think good art polarizes.
Yeah.
Art isn't meant to be love.
And at the end of the day, we're talking about it.
Exactly. And I will go see the next one.
Oh, I'm gonna see the next two. I'll wait tickets
well,
and popcorn.
no,
I'll have to see how it ends. If Cillian Murphy's in it, I'm watching it.
I'm in it.
Yeah. Just have him stand there as a zombie for 2 hours. I'll watch that.
Yeah,
Just follow him around.
zombie around.
Yeah.
I think it was hinted that the emaciated guy was
Yeah, that was a fucking.
rim tickler.
Yeah. Everyone was commenting on it and they'd be like, oh, Cillian Murphy, Cillian Murphy, Cillian Murphy. And it's like, no, he has not reprised the role as a zombie. So, like, that was. They knew what they were doing by hiring that man.
Carrot dangling. Oh yeah.
But he is hired for those roles. I think like he is an emaciated man.
Yeah, he's just really skinny. That's his.
That's his
He's
shtick.
not unhealthy, like. Well,
No, I don't think so.
He's an art dealer or something, isn't he?
Is he? That's his shtick. His shtick.
Black eyes from across the room, down my drink while the moon.
Right. When we open the door, basically. Oh! So I think it's a video where
It's like you. So it's like you.
That's his shtick.
So
That's his shtick.
it's like you. So it's like you. It's that time in the.
Bloody hell.
So it's like you. It's that time in the video where I'm gonna have to. So it's like you.
That's wrong.
So it's. So it's like you. It's that time in the video where I'm gonna have to ask you to do a rating.
That's his shtick.
So it's like you. It's that time in the video where I'm gonna have to ask you to do a rating. So on a scale of yesterday to Trainspotting, where are we ranking this Danny Boyle film?
Well, I've never seen Yesterday.
Have you not?
No.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, well, I really wanted to see it.
It was.
I tend to like shit films, except for this one.
It wasn't rubbish. It was just. Oh yeah, like there's no resolution to the problem.
Yeah, see, you're a resolutions man.
Write the script.
Also, yeah. Just have us finish it. Start and end. It's main storytelling. Start and end.
3-act structure.
Yeah.
beginning and end.
Yeah. That's what we're taught in English class.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be diplomatic about it
Yeah.
because I was very disappointed. It wasn't a bad film,
Yes.
but I'm trying to separate my own feelings. Like, if I was to just do it off feelings alone, I'd give it a 2. Yeah, like, I was so disappointed because I really loved 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
So I was, and like, just like that, the extra music and the way it wasn't done, like, I would have done it on, and like, there's so many things I'm like, I could have done that so much better, would have been so much better. But it wasn't a bad film.
Yeah.
And I will go and see it because, as much as we're like, well, it was uncouth to put a Jimmy Savile person,
Yeah.
well, maybe it's not, maybe we're reading into it.
Oh no, it is.
Okay.
They said it is.
Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
Oh, prick.
And Alex Garland.
It has made me want more. It's left me going, I need to see what they do with this because it's
Yeah.
so fucking mad.
Yeah. I
So
know.
it keeps me wanting it.
Like you said, for some reason I do. I know I will go see.
I'm like a dog with a bone. They're just dangling it in front of me. I'm like,
The dog hasn't got the ball between them.
that's what I mean. I'm like, I'm the dog. Like, ah!
You're trying to get the
I'm
ball.
the dog without the bone. I'm like, ah! So I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a 5. Yeah.
I think I do 6.5.
Okay. I'm cutthroat.
Yeah.
I
Like,
just have too many ill feelings.
would you advise people to see it?
See, a lot of people I know, I don't think have seen 28 Days Later.
Really, people go.
Yeah, so I'd be like, watch that, and then if you want to see that. And loads of people I've seen online were like, I've never seen it before, but this makes me want to go see 28 Days Later now. It's so good, and I just think that, like that, I would, if someone went to see it in the cinema, like if they were going to see it and they're like, oh, I'm thinking of seeing that, I'd be like, okay, have you seen the first one? If you haven't, you don't necessarily need to see it
No.
first. But I would highly recommend watching the new one first and then going back to the old one because the old one's so good, so you're just gonna
Be disappointed.
disappointed.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say to give it a 6.5
Okay.
out of 10. watch that and then watch the previous one.
Mm.
Because the previous one is just so much better. And just so much better. And like I said, I will go see the sequel, but
Yeah.
then I don't know. Depending how that goes, that I might abandon it like with Star Wars.
Like if we get a voucher for the cinema, I'll go see it.
Yeah. Or Super League. Super Chat. Go read it.
Yeah. See you on the next one, guys.
Yeah. So now, thanks for watching.
See you on the next one, guys.
Yeah. So now, thanks for watching. Yeah. So now, thanks for watching this video.
And thanks for commenting so much. Everyone's been so good in the chat. We appreciate it.
You really aren't getting the grasp of We're just recording the video.
Oh yeah, I come to the live people. Thanks. Sorry, I should do that after.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of that. Yeah, thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
Thanks for making it this far into the video.
We appreciate it.
Super chat, you go read it out.
Yeah. See you on the next one, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for making it this far into the video. Please hit that subscribe button. We're at about 840 subs. Gotta get to the magic number 1,000 by the 9th of December to hit that monetization and get that AdSense revenue. And if you liked this review, revenue. And if you liked this revenue, if you liked this review, right here, if you liked this review, if you like AdSense revenue, if you like this review, right here, click that, and there's a playlist full of reviews that we've done. And as always, thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
An hour. Cruising down the street in my 6-4. Got a drinking problem. Problem's getting it in my mouth. Bear Grylls with me. realistic to get this down to.
Well, hello, thank you for watching on live. We've got this camera, and this camera. I don't know what they are. You glued and all this stuff. Hot ones.
Through that camera there.
This camera.
Tell me what.
Tell me what's going on in your life. We'll get sued for that now.
You don't get.
I don't know. Well, if you rub their thing, we're not gonna eat chicken wings.
I think the whole
rub that.
internet.
Okay, something hot and then we can button this.
Hot button.
Or what we held coals that were really hot. You had to toss them back to one another until you gave them flop.
Oh yeah. We're doing it like a playoff.
Yeah.
Right. So
Anyway, hello everyone.
Looking back on when we first met.
welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. This week we're going to do a review of 28 Years Later. In this video we're going to do a plot in 60 seconds. We're going to do a deeper discussion about the plot and the believability. We're going to talk about underdeveloped themes in the movie. We're going to talk about the characters and performances, the tone and the horror, and then we're going to end with our ratings. And spoilers, I'm going to be pretty critical. I wasn't really too impressed.
Me neither.
A good intro? So we're going to do a plot in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you remember how we decided the rules?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always win.
I think I will. Do you remember how we decided the rules?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always win. I'll make it clear.
Oh,
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I won it!
I won!
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I won! I won! It's the end of days!
How did you manage that?
Loser!
I turned up. How did you manage that?
Loser!
I turned off my brain. I turned on my brain. I turned off my brain. I turned on my brain. I was thinking, you did paper, so you're going to do scissors next, because I did paper, and then. And then, I think I'll do rock. Yeah.
So Iron.
Yeah. Am I going first? Cool.
Whenever you're ready.
Oh. Okay, it's 23 years later, 28 years later. 28 years later. Years later, 28 years later. 28 years later from the zombie rage sort of fucking yoke starting. We're in an island off the edge of Scotland, I assume. Everyone seems to have a Scottish accent. Maybe they don't have a Scottish accent. I probably made that up. And there's some of a community after starting back up, and they're off the island, and you kind of slowly learn that they've been living there as like that for the last couple of years. They have different things that they all learn and how they get their lives together and stuff. Very simple. And then Aaron Taylor Johnson's character brings his son onto the main island, and they kind of see what's afoot there and brings him back, and then his child decides to go off on one and see for himself what the mainland, if everything has been told.
band plays into town.
Yeah. So how does it go? Yeah.
Band plays into town.
Yeah. So how does it go?
Okay.
So how does it go?
Okay, so as Aaron pointed out, it's 28 years after the zombie apocalypse started, but we flash back to the time when it actually started, and there's a brief introduction to a character. Don't really need to know that. Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's taken his son to the mainland of Earth. There's a commune off the northeast of England on a small island just by Newcastle. Oh wee! And they have to go to the mainland every few days to scavenge for provisions. It's Aaron Taylor Johnson's son's first day out, even though he's 2 years younger than he usually would be to do this journey. Also, his mother is very sick, and his father lets slips that there's a doctor on the mainland, so he takes it upon himself to take his mother to the doctor to see if she can be cured.
Very good. 5 seconds to spare.
I think yes.
Yours is way better.
Yeah.
I get nothing away.
Well, we also did we say that like there's zombies running around and.
I think that's kind of yeah. I think you might assume that. So that was good. Yours was the best one there.
Well, let the people in the audience decide.
Yeah, I think the buzz of winning the rock paper scissors also spurs you on though when you're doing it. You know, that sort of way. Like I find. I think talking about this film though, this is probably gonna be the first video where we're a bit more negative than usual.
Yeah.
But I think because we usually try to be quite positive. I mean, we looked at the cocaine bear. We didn't. What's that one with?
Which one?
The cocaine one. Mark. What was it? I mean, we looked at the cocaine bear. We didn't. What's that one with? The cocaine one. March powder. With marching powder. This is the cocaine bear. We didn't. What's that one with? Marching powder.
Martian powder, yeah.
Considering we watched that, and we try and put a positive spin on most of the films we watch, but I think this one, because it was highly anticipated.
And as well because the first film was. And as well because. Well, and as.
Marching cocaine bear, negative than usual.
Yeah.
But I think because we usually try to be quite positive. I mean, we looked at. We try to be quite positive. I mean, we try to be quite positive.
And as well because the first film was so good and it built that world so well. And the zombie apocalypse, I felt really believable.
Yes.
And that's how it would happen. Or
Yes.
like yeah. You have to put aside. You have to believe there's going to be a zombie apocalypse or this rage virus.
Which
break out.
that was good. I like that sort of theory thing as well.
Yeah, it's like once you come to terms with that, I still felt everything else that happened within it was believable
Yes.
and how things played out.
And I also think what you call the marketing team, whoever put the trailer together, fantastic work.
Yeah.
Like got me like that's been playing for months. Every time the cinema was on, it was literally like, this is gonna be fucking class.
But did you know that
Yeah.
that was only added in for a trailer, and then they saw the trailer because you know they handed over to someone to edit the trailer, and anything else about it, or
Yeah.
because I remember I watched Suicide Squad, and so many videos where they were breaking down the trailer, and they were going, "Oh, this means this, this means this," and it felt like they focused so much on putting all these Easter eggs in the movie for Suicide Squad, they didn't make a good movie. Yeah, but there was so much level of detail.
Yeah.
I've been like, oh, this is a reference to this character.
Yeah.
And just Easter eggs littered throughout it. So since then, I've tried to steer away from, like I didn't for Sinners, and like I said, I knew I was going to watch this, and it's Danny Boyle as well.
Yeah.
And most of the movies. Yeah, most of the movies. And so yeah, I knew I was going to see it, I didn't want this. Because then I do kind of project what I want it to be, or I kind of interpret it my way, and then if it just gives it more room to fall short.
Yeah.
That being said,
Yeah.
I felt in the plot there's too many conveniences.
Yeah.
Too many convenient moments. Like when they get stranded on the mainland and they stay in that house.
Yeah.
That night the house collapses.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, it makes so much noise that we're gonna have to make a run for it, and
Yeah.
you can only cross the bridge at low tide.
Yeah.
It was just perfectly timed that they could cross that bridge. Like it was just up to their shins to get through the water.
Yeah, but they didn't wait.
Like it was just. They could cross that bridge. It was just up to their shins to get through the water.
Yeah, but they did wait.
Did you?
Yeah, remember that's what they were waiting in the house for.
But the house collapsed, and then they made a break.
Oh yeah, that happened at the moment that the
Yeah.
house collapsed at the time was perfect. Yeah.
And then they get chased by the Alpha. And the very last moment, they intercept the Alpha.
Yeah. How they didn't cop that before?
The very last moment, they intercept the Alpha.
Yeah. How they didn't cop that before?
But it was too Hollywood. Like, they intercept the Alpha. It was too Hollywood. Like,
Yes.
like I said, the first one, it was.
Kill off his. Spoilers. Like kill off the father.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because then that would have made the rest of it make sense.
Yeah.
Do you know? And he watched his father die at the hands of an alpha.
Yeah.
Then you would have been like, give him something purpose. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lack of purpose.
Yeah. And then I felt.
Yeah. There was a lack of purpose.
I felt.
There was a lack of purpose.
I felt, like I said, you have to put on pause that it's a zombie movie. Accept that straight out of the gate.
Yeah.
But then there's still like real world elements.
Yeah.
I felt that yeah. So but then there's still like real world elements.
Yeah.
I felt that yeah. So unbelievable moments when they were surviving. In the real world elements. World elements. unbelievable moments when they were surviving. In the garage, remember when there was the gas leak?
Yes. Yeah, that shouldn't have. There was a big explosion,
No,
the gas leak and a
but
big
before that,
explosion.
they didn't get poisoned by the gas.
Yes.
And they were running around for a few minutes.
Yeah,
Then it blows up and
no burns.
completely fine.
Yeah.
But because they're on the ground.
Yeah, I feel like you'd go on fire.
Yeah, or you'd be messed up in some capacity.
Yeah.
But they were completely unscathed.
Yeah.
But the 5 or 6 zombies died.
Yeah.
Unrealistic feats by the characters. It's the kid's first day on the island to be a scavenger and a hunter, and his father just wants him to get a kill count up.
Yes, so he can get prepared.
They get chased.
Yeah.
And he can't. He wouldn't hit. What is it?
On your fucking. Yeah. Yeah.
And he can't. He wouldn't hit.
Yeah.
And he,
Yeah.
they get chased.
Yeah.
And he can't. He wouldn't hit. What is it?
On your fucking napkin.
He wouldn't hit. He wouldn't. He get chased. He wouldn't hit a barn door with a Uzi. Get chased. He wouldn't hit a barn door with an Uzi.
Yeah.
Arrows flying everywhere.
Yeah.
A
And
day,
he panicked as well, also.
a day later, he's ultimate warrior.
I don't know, he's meant to be 12 in it.
Yeah.
Like, one day, yeah, it's gonna harden you.
No way. But to the point where you can take down a horde of zombies.
Now, I wonder, as well, is it his anger at his father that's spurring all this on? I know, but
I still don't think you'd become like a survival expert. You're gonna turn
No.
into Bear Grylls, like.
very true.
And also for the mother is delusional.
Yes.
For her to just be able to survive. The character development I just thought was unrealistic.
But
I still don't think you'd become like a survival expert. You're gonna turn into Bear Grylls, like.
Oh!
The character survival expert. You're gonna turn into Bear Grylls, like. The character development I just thought was unrealistic, or the feats that the characters were able to achieve. That being the main character being the 12-year-old child, and then the mother because she delusional or in a feverish state, and then she was able to survive on the mainland when there's zombies everywhere.
and like introduction of characters, and then kind of drop off. But then like that, as you say, certain things happening, and then characters either killed off or like different parts not developed enough.
Yeah, yeah.
So say like at the beginning, it opens to a boy in a house with all these kids, and they're all murdered basically by the zombies except for him. And he runs off and finds his father, who's the vicar. The vicar seems a bit mad, but he was a prominent. He was like a prominent thing in the film, in the trailer. Remember the vicar? And he was like, "My children."
Yeah.
He was like a big part of the trailer.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now that was done like straight away. So he was.
Yeah.
And then that kid, at the beginning, I kind of obviously didn't, but like that child was introduced at the beginning.
And
then it goes to Aaron Taylor Johnson, so you assume that's him.
but that's why I said that to you in the cinema.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's gonna be Aaron Taylor Johnson 28 years later.
Yeah.
He's grown up.
Yeah. And then it wasn't. Now, people probably copped with the name. I don't know if the name was said at the beginning. It was. Remember, he had the little cross or the little
Yeah.
thing. So if you had a copped, I don't think it's the same name.
Possibly. Yeah.
of him over the years, whatever. So then that's fine. And then, so you've got Aaron Taylor Johnson, and then you've the child. And then, like, the side character of, like, the old man that's looking after the mother, and the son's not there.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be a trilogy, so I don't know whether.
Oh, I hate that baiting you that
Yeah.
you have to be here for the trilogy.
Yeah,
Just
also
make
true.
a good movie.
Yeah. And like that, Jodie Comer spends the first half of the fucking film in the bed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of the fucking film in the bed.
Yeah.
In the bed.
Yeah.
And yeah, first half of the film in the bed. And then, as you said, goes to the mainland and film in the bed. And then, as you said, goes to the mainland and like it's fine.
Is that just right? Yeah. She
Yeah.
has a headache and needs aspirin.
Yeah.
That's about the height of it.
And then there's like a big development of the father character and what's going on with his life. And obviously what he's gone through, and then he's real hardened, but then you don't know why he's hardened, but you assume that maybe the character at the beginning is the reason why he's hardened.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, where's his kind of background thing?
But like you said as well, the Aaron Taylor Johnson
Thing.
But like you said as well, the Aaron Taylor. Like you said as well, Aaron Taylor Johnson was front and center. He's the main character until halfway through the movie, and then they just sideline him.
Yeah.
And then it's Jodie Comer takes the limelight. Well, I think the young child was, but she's the other adult
Yeah.
in it.
I think they should have killed off Taylor Johnson's character.
Yeah, something.
But then I suppose that links back later on. Yeah, I suppose it links back at the end because Aaron Taylor Johnson's still in the commune, probably wondering
Yeah.
what's, you know what I mean? So there is that kind of link back to the commune, whereas the father is dead and the child goes out, people were kind of like, well, once you're out there, you're out there. You're on your own. You get lost out there.
Yeah.
Or that happens. So maybe he's the link, obviously, to keep that going for the link. He's the link, obviously, to keep that going for the rest of the trilogy.
Another.
There, you're out there. You're on your own. You get lost out there.
Yeah.
Or that happens. So maybe he's the link. Obviously, to keep that going for the rest of the trilogy.
Ah.
You get lost out there.
Another.
Get lost out there.
Another thing I felt unbelievable was the emotional consistency. So the boy loves his mother, even though his mother is very sick and very confused. Will risk everything. So she needs a doctor. There's no doctor on the island. Finds out that there's a doctor who's gone rogue and sort of is just another thing I felt unbelievable was the emotional consistency. So the boy loves his mother, even though his mother is very sick and very confused.
shit.
Yeah. Just off the rails. He burning all the bodies there. Doctor who's gone rogue. He burning all the bodies there he finds. But way back when he was a G. Bodies there he finds.
Matador said his white woman was more terrifying than any red bull he saw.
Doctor who's gone rogue. Way back when he was a GP. So he spots his the father says that and he was a GP. So he spots his the father says that that's the father says that that's his camp. It's gone rogue. Way back when he was a GP. So the father says that that's his campfire off in the distance. So then they go back to the island and he makes it his mission to take the mother to the doctor.
The child does.
Yeah. Now, we're gonna give spoilers here. So the child or the doctor is played by Ray Fiennes.
Please say his name. Rafe.
Ralph.
Is it Rafe though?
It used to be.
Okay.
It's changed though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it was funny. Arguments about it.
And how do you say his last name?
Fine.
I never know how to pronounce it.
Penis.
Yeah, Fiennes. But here's the thing as well. The mother's in the bed for days.
Penis.
Yeah, Fiennes.
And he makes it his mission to take the mother to the doctor.
The child does.
Won't go blind.
The child does. But here's the thing as well. But here's the thing as well.
To the doctor.
The child does. But here's the thing as well. The mother's in the bed for days, confused.
To the doctor.
The child does. The mother's in the bed for days, confused.
Yeah.
She goes on the mainland. She doesn't have one episode.
Very.
She's coherent.
Very minor.
She's coherent basically the whole time.
And she's like, I just need an aspirin.
I just need to chill for a minute, lay it down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, so then Ralph Fiennes, he's gone rogue. Ralph Fiennes. Ralph Fiennes, he's got. He's gone rogue, but they've managed to track him down. Other with just sort of like we're gonna head
Towards the fire.
yeah, a northwesterly direction.
Yeah.
It has to be him. So then he's actually and pretty well known.
Found out.
Yeah, he's a lot more sane than they thought. They
Most
thought
people.
he was like a cult leader type person. I think kind of like in Apocalypse Now, Colonel Kurtz. I think that's what they were. That's what I thought he was going to be like.
I also thought that maybe he was going to be like the preacher at the beginning of the film. I thought that's what they were lining up. Be like the preacher at the beginning of the film. I thought that's what they were lining up.
Yeah.
That he was going to be like Philip. Preacher at the beginning of the film. That he was going to be like,
This is our Lord. This is our final
this
judgment.
is the final judgment. You know,
Yeah.
getting rid of all the riffraff.
Yeah. Cleansing the earth.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but that's obviously not what it was.
But yeah, his whole thing was in memoriam. His whole thing was in memoriam.
Mentimore.
Mementiarum. Remember the dead.
Oh,
Where's that thing? Remember the dead. So he.
Memento Mori.
Memento Mori. He thing is
Memento Mori.
Memento Mori. Sterilizes or he cleanses. Well, how would you describe it? Just the process.
He takes the flesh off the body.
Yeah, but he then cooks it.
He heats it so it comes off easily. So like you know like you cook a chicken that falls off the bone.
Oh, is that it?
That's what it is. So the flesh falls off the bone. And then you just rinse it with water so it comes off.
Yeah. So he
Like a chicken wing. A chicken thigh. He barbecues them.
but he does it for the infected and the non-infected.
What a spoofer.
Just the dead. He says.
Does he?
Yeah, that's
Okay, I thought it was just the North people.
no, because that's what he says. We're all the same.
same.
And everyone should be remembered, and he makes these massive skull monuments to remember everyone.
Yeah, very bone church in Prague vibes. Oh, Prague vibes.
What?
Yeah, very bone church in Prague vibes. Oh, it's a church made of human bones.
Oh, okay.
Class. Yeah, very that vibe. But the thing that's been done before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then he does, like he says himself, a rudimentary examination, and he deduces
Oh, the child's mother.
of Jodie Comer. He deduces she has cancer and it's spread, and pretty much in the world that they live in now, there's nothing that they can do, and it's just gonna get worse and worse. And like he says in it, he said there's different types of death. There's good deaths and there's bad deaths. So this is what, 24 hours? No, 48 hours because that's the night over. And then he's like, right, in me oven you go.
Yeah!
And the boy is like, he gets sedated, but he cooks up Jodie Comer, comes back with the skull.
I'm assuming he kills her first.
Yeah, I think injects her with something, or yeah, I don't think he cooks her alive. And then gives the boy the skull.
Keep.
gives the boy the skull, and he's like, find a nice place for her. So he climbs to the top of the skull mountain and puts her head on top. He said, that's a beautiful selection. But just he was willing to sacrifice everything to find a cure. And like, doctors aren't great. I'd probably get a second opinion.
In that day and age, but then also as well. So also spoilers. The boy was so upset because Aaron Taylor Johnson's character was cheating on his mum. Was she in the bed, getting all blah, blah, blah. And then like, oh, she's dead now. Not a tear shed, not one tear shed.
Yeah, I don't think so. Just seemed like a real emotional inconsistency. The
lack of emotion.
But just the kid wouldn't rebel and be like, no, there has to be an answer out there.
Yeah, or like,
well, I'll take her to a hospital, or
like, I'm not gonna look at you, doctor, because
you killed my mother.
You killed my mother, and you convinced her to kill herself, basically. Just very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. Very strange.
Give that man a job at Port East Psychiatric. Underdeveloped themes. I heard Mark Commode, the film reviewer.
It's a very unfortunate name.
Commode.
Commode is the shit.
He's Kermode.
Oh.
Mark Commode. And he just talks shit.
It's that chair that you sit and poop in.
Yeah. I hope he watches. He said it's a movie that has a lot of ideas and isn't afraid to tell you that it has a lot of ideas.
It's gonna be 3 films. Put it into another one.
But I mean, I felt there was just so many themes, or there were a lot of things that just weren't developed. And like you said, if you're gonna make a trilogy, develop it, and you could have made it so much better. Like, religion was completely front and center.
It started the film.
But it still wasn't. There's no relevance in center.
It started the film.
There's no relevance to it. It was just there.
Yeah, like say in the first, I wonder is it because in the first film, I can't remember, we didn't watch the second film, we did watch the first film 2 weeks ago before we saw it.
The second one, or 28 weeks later.
Yeah.
It's like a different universe because the infection.
Yeah, like say in the first, I wonder is it because in the first film,
there's no relevance to it. It was just there.
Yeah, like say in the first, I wonder is it because in the first film, I can't remember, we didn't watch the second film, we did watch the first film 2 weeks ago before we saw it.
The second one, or 28 weeks later.
Yeah.
It might as well, it's like a different universe because the infection reaches mainland Europe 28 weeks later at the end of it.
But then does this not go against what
So
this film
it's
said?
A different universe. It's essentially its own movie that's not in this world. You know, like Marvel. No, it was just they completely disregarded that.
Oh, okay. So, what was I saying?
So
yes, in the first film, it's not that religious.
So
yes, in the started the film.
There's no relevance to it. It was just there.
In the first film, it's not that religious, but Cillian Murphy goes into
The church.
and that's kind of the only bit of religion in it, I think. So, like, did they want want to pay homage to the first film and mention it, but like it's weird that your man would, you know, they started it off with religion as well because they had the church and your man being a priest, your man's father and given the cross. Do you know? So is it like is he big mad into religion, or is it just do the religious themes happen in a lot of his other films, or? Is he big mad into religion, or is it just do the religious themes happen in a lot of his other films, or
Alex Garland or I'm not. I don't.
is it just that you would, because of obviously what's going on, you would look to religion? In a lot of his other films, is it just that you would, because of obviously what's going on, you would look to? It started the film.
There's no relevance to it. It was just there.
In the
Just there.
Is it just that you would, because of obviously what's going on, you would look to religion?
Yeah, but I mean, like the album called Samson, and then when they returned from the first day, they played Delilah. So that's very intentional. Samson and Delilah.
Maybe tell people. I won't have a clue about that now.
Yeah, I thought that would be in the lesson. Samson and Delilah.
No.
No.
I have no idea.
It was just.
Five o'clock.
Just a really big strong man, and then all his strength was connected to his hair, so his wife cut off his hair in his sleep, and then he became weak, and then I can't remember why he was captured, but he was captured, but then in the time he spent in prison, his hair grew back and he was strong again, break free.
Okay. So in the film, the alpha zombie, there's alpha zombies in this film, so they've mutated, I suppose, or just become stronger, so they're kind of working.
They said that the virus has like steroid
Developed.
for certain people.
Same as like COVID is worse for people, or
Yeah.
some people can fight against it and be stronger than it, I suppose. Like that's what you look. Or some people are, what's the word?
Yeah, literally this on steroids because like the album is only 8 feet tall.
And they watch and they think and they're able to like
They
lead,
yeah,
command.
exactly.
So the alpha, big alpha, is called Samson.
Yeah, that's just from the doctors.
Yeah.
And also the Bone Temple, place of worship.
Yeah. And you said the song's Delilah in the background, or they're singing the song Delilah in
When they come back.
and Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, who's the father, kind of, what's the word people do when you tell a story, kind of embellish the story, because they were running from an alpha and then the guards ended up killing the alpha because they're harder to kill as well. So he was talking about how the young lad is brilliant and he was
big
basically doing everything. And then they're singing the song Delilah in between the cutting of him telling the story. So I wouldn't have known that was a religious thing. Possibly, no. I'm not a big Jesus freak.
Big Jesus head.
Big Jesus.
Big Jesus head, yeah.
Okay, so you thought that it was, but then I wonder, did they not go on with that because some people wouldn't know that, or is it just that it was lazy?
Which is neither.
Why introduce it?
I don't know why there was so much religion in it, but it was front and center, but it wasn't a theme or part of the plot. It just didn't seem relevant or necessary. It was just there. But shoved in your face.
But then not developed.
For no apparent reason. And then you pointed out when the zombie gives birth.
Piss me right off. Let me get into this now. Okay. But then even to backtrack, I don't know if we should give out about your one like coming through in the middle of the night and like that. Isla, is it Isla? her character, it could have extended itself for ages and could have worked across the trilogies, but then I don't know what their end goal is with the
But you
films.
know that. Sorry, it's not a trilogy. They have to see how well the next one does.
Oh, well, they've already released spoilers for the last one.
Well,
They've signed an actor on for the last one.
Well, now it could have changed since, but I saw an interview with Danny Boyle, and he says, it's a lady directing the next one,
Yeah.
and he said, we'll see how that does, and then if we can make the third.
I think he's gooling people. Because if he says that, people go, oh, we'll have to see the next one to see, because it's also been leaked that a certain actor is going to be a little bit in the next one, was going to play a big plot in the last one.
One from the end of this one.
No. Cillian Murphy.
Oh,
They said he signed on for the next one, so they said he's going to be involved in the next 2 films.
Yeah.
And they said he's only going to be in the next one maybe a little bit, and then he's going to be in the last one. So I think that'll goad people into making the next one do well. Don't mind Danny Boyle's not doing all of them.
I don't think that's going to motivate your one to make a better movie. I think it's just about people viewing it.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's not going to make her make a better film. It's just going to make people go and see it. Like, I'm going to be like, sure, Cillian Murphy's going to be in. I'm going to go to it. Obviously.
Cillian Murphy, a handsome woman or a pretty man?
I just think he's beautiful.
Yeah.
I do. I really do.
I saw him in Temple Bar. He is so short.
Yeah, they're all short.
For someone with such presence.
Yeah, but they're all short. I know this is completely different, but like,
Probably
you know,
do.
no, but you know what Kardashian said.
Yeah.
So Khloe Kardashian, they always back in the day used to make her out as she's the big one, she's tall and she's heavy, like whatever. She's only like 5'9" if even, and she's the big, tall, freakish one. They're all like 5'2". Yeah, literally, like I think Kim Kardashian's only like 5 foot.
Really?
Yeah, they're tiny. So then when they're saying she's big, gigantic, whatever, you're like, oh, she's only like 5'9" or something, or like Kendall Jenner's a model, so she's 5'10", 11, if even. I don't know. I don't really keep up with the Kardashians. Anyway, so back to Isla. So what were we saying? Yes. So they introduce her. She's in the bed, and then all of a sudden she's fine. And then there's a moment. She's kind of doddering around the place, I feel. Like, I know she's like obviously sick, and like there's always that sort of character that when there's like a zombie or a vampire or something like that, they always there is a gentle character that tries to understand them, tries to give them the benefit of the doubt. There's always that character. Always tries to see the good in everything. So we see a zombie who is pregnant. With the child. I was like, oh, so that person must have been pregnant when they got infected.
Yeah.
That was my thought. So they'll forevermore be pregnant. I assume just dead baby inside them.
And it'll live there.
It'll live there.
Okay.
And that until that zombie's dead.
Yeah.
And the baby and zombie will be dead. So then they're on the train trying to run from. Were they running from Alpha at that point? When they were giving birth? Or were they just going in? Zombie will be dead. So then they're on the train trying to run from. Were they running from Alpha at that point? When they were giving birth? Or were they just going in?
Oh no, I think the Alpha arrives.
Well, that's happening.
Yeah, I think.
Yes. Why were they going into the train first? Was there screams?
I think so.
Shouts? Anyway, whatever happened. So they go on the train. And Jodie Comer's character comes across the zombie giving birth, which I thought was and the baby and zombie will be dead. So they go on the train. A zombie's dead.
Yeah.
And the baby and zombie will be dead. Will be dead. So they go on the train. Jodie Comer's character comes across the zombie giving birth, which I thought was a bit mad.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So then, like, obviously the zombies have been like coming up and trying to hurt them and attack. Comer's character comes across the zombie giving birth, which I thought was a bit mad.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So then, like, obviously the zombies have been like coming up and trying to hurt them and attack them. But like then she walks up to the mad. Like obviously the zombies have been like coming up and trying to hurt them and attack them. But like then she walks up to the zombie and like puts her hands out. The zombie puts her hands together and your one squeezes out a fresh new baby. Which is fine. But then I was like, oh my god, this is before they met the doctor as well. So I was like, she must be unwell. Now I didn't think it was cancer. I thought maybe it was like
Alzheimer's.
not even that, or like just
Fever.
or maybe just like a depressive thing, or episodes, or like whatever. Yeah, something. So I was like, oh, she isn't a good host.
Yeah.
And that's in my head as well. So I was like, she will be able to communicate with the zombies, or like kind of stand up. Because remember, there was another point where there was a zombie behind her, and the son's like, don't move, and shoots at the beginning. When they went.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she wasn't very aware of that, because usually they're running up flat out at them. So I was like, oh, and she was able to kill that other one. So I was like, oh, she's able to communicate. Or I was like, she's gonna, and I was like, they're gonna walk through and they're gonna use her as like a ways to get supplies, or they're gonna use her as a ways to like be able to scout out locations, and she's gonna be able to get through different things without. And then sure, once the baby was popped out,
but I don't even like then that was under interpretation, because I don't think she necessarily went for Jodie Comer.
It was the fella, the young lad.
So like
Yeah.
Like you said, I thought it could have been a good if you are diseased, like you said, you're not a viable host.
Yeah.
Which was that's how World War Z.
Yeah.
That was the cure for it in the end.
Yes.
He infects himself with a non
life-threatening virus.
What? It was supposed to be
Hepatitis.
I think it was, yeah. And then he was able to walk through the zombies.
Yes.
Zombies knew, like
He wasn't a viable host.
Exactly.
That film obviously stuck in my brain more than I thought it did. World War Z.
But you know, like,
I feel like it could have really, like that could have been World War Z.
So please.
but you know, like,
I feel like it could. World War Z. I feel like it could have really, like that could have been unreal.
or it could have been explored.
Hugely.
Yeah. And like, that's it. It's just an underdeveloped thing.
Completely underdeveloped. And then I'm like, why introduce that at all?
Well, now, like the doctor said, he said, oh, the mysteries or the hidden powers of placenta.
Yes.
So, so now they're saying either, like you said.
Sorry, the baby was born without zombie infection. The baby was a fresh baby. That was free of any disease, rage, virus, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, did we talk about it? I think that was another unbelievable point. The kid returned to the gates of the commune, completely that was another unbelievable point. That was another unbelievable point. The kid returning the baby to the gates of the commune, completely unnoticed, even though it's under 24-hour surveillance.
They're shit. They're shit guards.
The pathway. And then they just heard the baby crying. And in that time, he was able to
Run back.
again, undetected.
But like, sure, the alpha zombie will be able to do that.
Yeah.
Undetected.
It just didn't fit the narrative again.
Yeah, because they were so panicked about people getting on, or getting in, or anything that's coming
Yeah,
through the
they
gate.
were so paranoid
Yeah.
about it. But you have to be, obviously, because only one has to be
Yeah.
true. But like that, the kid can sneak up
Yeah.
with a baby in a Tesco basket
Yeah.
and hang it up
Mm.
and then escape.
Yeah. But then as well, back to the unbelievable part, or the underdeveloped themes, is that like, the doctor was like healing powers of the placenta. So that obviously the mother's infection didn't spread to the baby. But then I'm like,
Oh, so, go on.
but then I'm like, well, did the mother get pregnant before she got infected? Or did the Samson character impregnate a zombie? Are they having sex? Are the zombies having sex?
But that's what you're saying. That was. That's what I heard people say. It's like.
The zombies having sex?
But that's what you're saying. You're saying, that's what I heard people say. It's like, it's either, like you said, was she pregnant before she got infected, or now have the zombies evolved? Because with their evolution, they would have breed. But then, if the zombies breed and the child is born, the child is infected. Is that I'm sure it'll be. No, they'll probably completely disregard all this in the next movie and it'll all be forgotten about.
But again, the doctor. Like, that's a theme. Like, he literally was there for 5 minutes.
Sorry, that's another unbelievable point. That he would have survived so long. Because he wasn't killing
Yeah.
zombies. That he lived for 28 years on his own.
Where's he getting all the opium?
Like, I presume he just robbed everything from the pharmacy that he lived in.
Yeah, but that's not gonna last that while. He's there 28 years.
What? Like, he's
They
probably.
go off.
Does it?
Yeah, medicines and shit. Well, big pharmacist, they go off.
They just put a cell by there on it.
Yeah.
So you have to shift it by.
But like, some of the stuff, it loses potency.
But I don't think he's using it all the time, is he?
He's lasts for 28 years, he'd have to be using it fucking enough.
Well,
What food is he
What do you
living on?
know? Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah, it's quite unbelievable. Or also that he let the child, I know he's staying there, but I'm like, go together. Why introduce a character that has so much that you could ask? Or tell him to go to the island and be a doctor there.
yeah. I don't know, I think, but I think he said that he's gonna live there because when the kid asked him, he's like, "Oh, what is that bone temple?" And he's like, "I thought I'd never get asked that question," because he's like, "I've never been in a
Yeah.
So I think he'd have to be
By himself.
But
Uzbek.
like, I still think it's unbelievable. And then as well, he has all these hiding places, and then he gets caught when.
Yes, I was just
And
about
the
to
kid
say.
saves him.
Yeah.
Like, you would have died by now.
The baby didn't cry.
Baby didn't cry throughout it.
Not once do we hear a baby cry.
Maybe you should have grabbed it by the legs.
There was a newborn baby, and not once did it cry.
Oh, until you wanted it to cry when it threw up on the gates.
Unbelievable.
Too far-fetched.
Yeah.
Too far-fetched for a zombie film.
For one that was so realistic for the first one.
Yeah, believable.
That's what's killing
within
me.
its- yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I have a problem with big Hollywood.
Okay.
Okay. Aaron Taylor Johnson in it.
Yeah.
He's kind of a big name.
Yeah.
Ish name.
Yeah, no,
And like that. Ralph Fiennes. We know he was gonna be in it. We did.
yeah, he was in the
Again, another big-ish name. Jodie
Oh,
Comer.
yeah.
Big-ish name. Big, really big name. But like Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's in the beginning and then wasn't in it at all.
in the first half.
Again, I feel like they're goading us. I feel like it's like, oh, we're gonna. But I'm like, anyone could have played that character.
Yeah.
Like the character.
Yeah.
Like they say for the boy, they got an unknown. They say. They say for the boy, they got an unknown.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you could have gotten an unknown for the dad character. I feel like.
But they do that to so their name on the poster. That too, so their name on the. Name on the poster, so you don't see it. 'Cause
Yeah.
people will watch it just for Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, same for Ralph Fiennes as well.
Yeah.
I just feel like you have such big characters and didn't do much with them. Such big names, such good actors.
But that's what I felt. All the performances were good.
Yeah, they were good.
It just wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I think I've thought that for a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Especially recently. That was one of the criticisms about the Phoenician Scheme. Like, the performances were all great. It just wasn't great.
Yeah, all performances were really good. I think Jodie Comer was very good.
Yeah.
It's very hard
Young
line.
Lad was very
It's
good.
very hard line in the bed all the time. I do think the person who played the alpha was very good. Like the physicality of it and stuff like that. And I do think
I thought Jason Momoa.
shout out to all the people playing zombies as well, because their performances,
Something different.
like running around, like just the way they move and run around the place, I just think like that's very, like I say that's hard.
It'd be exhausting.
But also just to like look like you're fucking off your head with, do you know what I mean? Like you're subhuman, you're not actually,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's, you know,
Yeah.
it's very,
What the hell are they doing there?
actually,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's, not actually,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's, you know,
Yeah.
it's very, because obviously they don't have speaking parts, it's very physical, it's physical acting, it's not like, it's very easy to say stuff and sound like you mean it.
But and as well, you don't have the range to like show emotion with your face.
No.
Because you're.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think it's very good. I know what you mean by alpha's not needed, but I did like the fact that we've seen that the virus has developed. Not needed, but I. Not needed, but I. Very good. I did like the fact that we've seen that the virus has developed
Yeah.
in
And,
some way.
like it's.
Developed. Developed. Developed.
Yeah.
In
And-
some way. In
And-
some way.
Like it's like I said earlier. Mr. Toilet said
Yeah.
it has a lot of ideas and it's not afraid to tell you it has ideas.
Yeah.
Like that the alpha is an evolution,
Yes.
stylistic choice, or it's a theme, or you know,
Mm.
instead of it just being a continuation of 28 Days Later,
Yeah, yeah,
where they're just thrashing around.
yeah.
I guess well, like we know from COVID, the virus would the characters, the performances, like you said, Aaron Taylor-Johnson was front and centre as being a main character, and then just completely sidelined, and then the mother is, and then she's out of it. And then the kid is, I guess, just lacks depth.
Yeah, and then like that, the introduction of, is it Eric?
Yeah.
So he was doing a patrol off the side of England, obviously.
Coast Guard.
Yeah, so
to
they.
make sure they're quarantined.
Yeah, so you still they were still. There's people from mainland Europe and the rest of the world making sure that England is still quarantined. So the rest of the world has continued on in the 28 years that the virus has been there. So then they're Danish. Yeah. So then their ship.
They got shipwrecked.
And then they go into mainland, and once you're on the mainland, you're forgotten about forever and evermore.
Yeah.
So then he's introduced. So like he's an iPhone.
Yeah.
He talks about like stuff that's happening, because obviously he's up to date with all the bits and bobs, and it is kind of a nice introduction to see that. Okay, so everything is basically the same in the rest of the world. Yeah, the real world is our real world, I suppose. But then get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? Like he again was introduced and then gotten rid of.
But as well, he's a trained soldier.
Yeah.
Whereas
Also.
Confused mother and a 12-year-old child who's been on the mainland for one day.
Yeah, and also feel like. I just don't know. I feel like if that happens, if like if that happened, would they quarantine the whole place? If they're not trying to get survivors? Is the rest of the world what's going on? Yeah, very true. I suppose it also shows the.
Well, I suppose it is very much a comment on. Well,
yeah.
I haven't been later, but COVID and Brexit as well.
Yeah.
When COVID happened, locked down all the borders.
Yeah, very true.
Which essentially is what this is. It's a virus that rapidly spreads and mutates, very contagious, and is terminal. Yeah.
Basically.
And then also I thought it was like another unexplored thing. It spreads and mutates, very contagious, and is terminal. Like another unexplored theme that was maybe a mirror of Brexit, of Britain being cast aside outside Europe.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really thought about that.
No?
No.
I did. Straight out of that.
Yeah, no, my brain didn't go that way.
Did you apologize? Are you happy with the characters and performances?
Yeah, as you said, Aaron Taylor-Johnson set up as a lead and then gotten rid of. Jodie Comer again. Hey folks, I just feel like all the characters were introduced. And you're like, oh, I can't see how it developed. Again folks, I think all again folks, I just feel like all the characters were introduced. And you're like, oh, I can't wait to see how that develops. And as soon as you were like looking forward to seeing how that character develops, gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if they left Jodie in the bed and it had been a full movie,
would possibly be good, but then I suppose you have to look at it then, the fella seeing his father's infidelity is probably was the kind of turning point for him to go, fuck this, we're getting out of here.
Yeah.
My father's lied to me
Yeah.
about loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as bad as he thinks.
What do you think that was?
A little bit. Sorry, again, to unbelievable stuff. The young lad went on, his dad brought him onto the island to teach him how to shoot.
Yeah.
But then we got flashes of kids on the island shooting.
No, but that's to shoot real life.
I know, but still, I'm just saying, why did he feel like he could take his kid out 2 years before his due test?
Oh, because
Let him not, because it fitted the plot.
Because he's a super hunter and his son's going to be a super hunter.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But yeah, I didn't love the child character.
Okay, well, I think that'll actually play into this. I never felt scared. No, okay. For the first hour, I was scared.
Okay. On edge.
Yeah. But then, when I got back to the island, I think I was scared. It was just the way that they broke up the movie into two halves.
Yes.
For the first hour, I was like, someone's at home. For the first hour was good. The first half was good. I was on edge then, and then I think it was when stuff started to be really convenient. I was like, this is just going to be a walk in the park.
Yes.
I don't know, I don't feel like I was ever scared after that. But that could also be, like you said, I don't know if I liked the child. Couldn't care if he died. Couldn't care if his father died. Couldn't care if Jodie Comer died because she's a scouser. Because she's a scouser. It was hard. It just didn't have that tension. It just didn't have that tension. There were so many near misses, but it didn't.
Yes. Like that was.
Misses, but it didn't. Misses, but it didn't.
Like that with the gas station. If the mother had gone in and say, Eric saved them, but if the mother had gone in and he didn't make it and she shoved him out, I know they were running from zombies, so that wasn't going to happen, and then it blew up and he was waiting to see if she survived, that would have been a bit of tension. There was no...
It was all, everything resolved very easily.
Yeah, or if she had been bitten by the pregnant zombie, or one of them had been bitten and then their leg had to be amputated.
Yeah, or... the mother got infected, the mother got caught, the mother got killed, or the father did, or someone did. There was never that sense of loss, because none of the main characters ever snuffed it.
And like that, but they did, but the one time of loss, it's off screen, and then also it's done very quick and ceremonial.
Exactly,
and
it was very respectful, and Ralph Fiennes, his character, he's meant to be this villainous human as well.
Yeah.
He'd be up to anything. Sweet as pie. Nice as anything.
Sweet as a nut. Stop it down, that chocolate brown.
I think I was scared, but then, this adds into it as well, I think for me, what made it not scary was the flashes of like the thermal camera, I'm gonna say, for like the nighttime zombie stuff. The music, the use of music, whereas the first film was, there was a lot of quiet moments, and I know saw an interview with Danny Boyle and we had to add music into it because they're like, you're going to give people heart attacks. Give people heart attacks. That's what scary films are about.
Yeah.
The fear. I know sometimes you have little music, but there was a lot of like, I feel like new music, and there was a lot of music where I felt like there shouldn't have been music.
Really, yeah.
I think like it just was put in there for this. I feel like just put music in there. Like there was a part where they were, there was a part where they were walking through the forest, and there was just music blasting over it, and I was like, if this had been quiet, it would have been lovely.
Just ambient sounds.
Ambient
Twigs,
sounds. Yeah.
Birds.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But with music, and then like it was weird having the nighttime zombie footage because I'm like, is that people watching them?
Yeah.
Or is this just a stylistic choice?
This is how the zombies are at night.
I'm like, but the fact, I think it's better that you don't know.
Don't know what.
I feel like they shouldn't have added those nighttime zombies because I'm like, well,
Yeah.
nobody knows what they're doing at nighttime unless you're watching them.
Yeah.
You shouldn't know because that's the thing. It's like this unknown is the scary thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you get your scares.
That's what Alfred Hitchcock said.
I'm sure even Jaws.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you just don't know. Like it's the fear of what's to come.
Yeah.
Whereas if you see what the zombies are at nighttime, I'm like, well, sure, I know what's to come.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really just force fed down your
Yeah.
throat.
Or like that say in the first film, when you saw rats running, you knew the zombies were near because they're running from something. Like just more. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but like just. You know, you don't need sound. You don't need sound all the time, and I think like that's. It's the quiet moments where you're building, or you hear something cracking, or you hear like a thud of something. You're like, oh, something's coming, but you don't know what it is or how much of something's coming. It's like that fear. But again, you didn't feel afraid because
No.
there's constant sound and constant sensory overload.
When they had that new wave bullet time,
Yes.
have you seen them rigs? I think that was just so.
Cash grab.
Yes. Apple said we'll give you 100,000 or whatever if you shoot some of it on iPhones.
Yeah, we want to prove our cameras are as good as cinema cameras.
Now look, what's his name? Does that a lot, David Fincher.
Mm.
So like, he's was it Fight Club or something else? He edited it in Final Cut Pro,
Okay.
and it must have been because Final Cut Pro were giving him a bank of money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, remember that one he did, the assassin with the Irish fella, Irish German.
Oh.
Remember that one he did, the assassin with the assassin with the Irish fella, Irish German.
Oh, Ginger.
Question Xavier.
No. What's his name?
Oh. Triple Sans.
What's his name? Ginger Irish lad. He can spell here. Not that.
Triple Sans.
Yeah.
Mike Fassbender.
Like, assassin with Michael Fassbender.
He's Ginger.
He's not Ginger.
I'm pretty sure he's Ginger.
Fiverr.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I don't know my phone. You have to Google it.
Is Michael Fassbender ginger?
I think he is.
What was the other Michael Fassbender?
The film, David Fincher film on
Oh
the
yeah,
Final Cut Pro.
I think no. So and then he edited that in. Edited that. Remember that one he did, the assassin. The assassin. Edited that in Premiere Pro,
Okay.
which is what I use.
Oh, okay.
It's not industry standard, but it's like Premiere giving them funding to do it.
But then, you know,
But sorry, that was the iPhone. I thought,
Yeah.
And they were doing that bullet time. It just felt unnecessary, and it was Now, saying that 28 days later,
Yeah.
they shot that on camcorders.
Yeah.
So that's not in HD.
But also adds to the.
Exactly, that's what he said. He wanted it to be like home footage.
Yeah. I feel like they should have done that here.
But he said as well, because they did that, it allowed them to shoot London.
Yes.
He said they were just stopping traffic.
Yeah.
And he said people will tolerate that for 3 minutes, but then they're like, well, I have to get to work.
Yes.
Get out of the way. So he said if you had big lights and big setups and everything, you wouldn't have been able to get them shots.
And in saying that to them, it would have been great to do that with this film, because obviously it's
On the iPhone.
no on camcorder or whatever, because it would give it that kind of grittiness and
Yeah.
whatever. However, in saying that, I don't think nowadays you will be able to do what they did with the film back then, because obviously if social media is so big that like if someone saw that happening, you know, you'd have hundreds of people probably showing up. So say like London, you couldn't do that in London now, I would say, on a camcorder.
No.
Because it's obviously the population's gotten bigger, so many more people that show up. Do you know, so you couldn't probably get those quiet shots really anymore.
Yeah, well, I think we can buy one. Yeah, but we were.
Yeah. But it would have been like, I just feel like it's too polished looking
Yeah.
for the type of film that. But
Yeah,
then maybe
and
that's our own fault for assuming too much.
But like you said, the night vision, just unnecessary.
If it had been related to the fellas that had been.
But it wouldn't be practical in that world to have night vision shots.
But if it had been related to the lads that were shipwrecked on the
army.
island,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, maybe.
But it didn't link it. So this is like tone. We're talking about tone and kind of horror elements. But there's also kind of goes back to like characters, introduction of characters,
Yeah.
development. Kind of goes over all the kind of areas we've been talking about.
So this is a big spoiler. Is it a spoiler? Well, it is it's a key point of the plot that happens at the end. But
Again, another rush job. And another fucking. Anyway, so at the end of the film, the baby is found by the people on the island. And you know that the young lad, I don't even know his name.
I'll go to that.
The young lad has, as you said, unrealistically gotten this baby back to the edge of the island, found low tide, run out, hung him up at the fence with no one seeing him, run back, the tide has come up, leaves a note for his father, and is back on the island doing shit. So then he's la-di-da-di-da, caught himself a fish, frying up the fish, and he's able to catch fish now, because we don't know that wasn't in his fucking repertoire before, I don't know. Anyway, so he's minding his own business, and do a bunch of zombies come near him?
Yeah.
And then,
He starts picking off a few, but then
because of his newfound fucking amazing archery skills,
yeah, Robin Hood decided
and then all of a sudden, these back flipping fuckers,
the Power Rangers.
it was literally like the Power Rangers. They were inhumanely flipping around the place.
Yeah,
In,
but
like,
that's
matching
surreal.
tracksuits.
That's surreal, even for this world.
It felt like the Power Rangers.
But that's
Now,
what?
is that a stylistic choice because Power Rangers would have been popular in 2002?
No, there's different elements as well, because were they the Power Rangers or were they the Teletubbies? Because apparently they're the same colour tracksuits as the Teletubbies.
Okay.
He's also wearing a tiara, which
Oh, Dixie.
Dixie. One has which one's
Tinky
it?
Winky?
Yeah.
Tinky Winky's on the handbag.
One had a hat.
Lala.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's last game. Just get my charger. I am.
Everything's so unrealistic that they're parkour champions and doing flips and kung fu masters.
So, to backtrack a little bit as well, over the course of the film we see a few zombie people hung upside down and they've got like Jimmy carved into their chests and stuff.
And there's a graffiti on the wall of the shirt.
This is what magic, magic.
Yeah,
Jimmy is coming or something.
Jimmy is coming. Something about Jimmy.
No, I think it was like a reference to God, and it's like he is coming, and someone wrote Jimmy beside
Yeah.
it.
So then these backflipping fuckers come in, they kill all the zombies, and the kid's looking, and it's Jack O'Connell?
Yeah.
Jack O'Connell. But for us who know now, so this character, Jimmy, and he's got the cross, so it's the child from the beginning of the film,
Yeah.
he then surmised. So we were like, oh, so Aaron Taylor Johnson's character isn't that character, this is this lad. So as you said, he hasn't developed, he's probably still stuck in this mindset of he's that young child
Yeah.
at the beginning of the film, so his brain hasn't developed. Who knows who's been around all these years. But he's dressed like Jimmy Savile, and they're all dressed like Jimmy Savile. They're all in blonde wigs and tracksuits, and Jimmy Savile was known for always being in a tracksuit.
Yeah.
Why?
Now, I just thought it was really tasteless. And
Very
unnecessary.
tasteless.
Because, like, there's still victims of Jimmy Savile living today.
Yeah.
It just felt like a really sick choice. Because their comment is, like, no one would have known. It wouldn't have come out about Jimmy Savile.
Yes.
So he still would have been this pop icon.
Yes.
I just don't think it was.
It's in bad taste.
It was in really bad taste.
Yeah. I know.
Unnecessary.
I know that he probably would have been a very popular TV presenter at that time, but I'm sure there's a million other TV presenters they could have picked.
No, it is apparently meant to be a comment on picking and choosing elements you remember from the past.
Okay.
But I just, like I said, I just think it was really distasteful.
Yeah.
Irresponsible
Yeah.
to do that.
Mm.
Let Jimmy Savile die and his name never be spoken again. Or referenced.
Like, pick your man from Art Attack.
Yeah.
He's nice.
But I mean, I don't even think, because I would have been 12 in 2002.
Mm.
I wouldn't have known who Jimmy Savile was. Like, he wouldn't have been front and centre in the public eye as he was in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. And like that, not be like, and this isn't it, but you've got like family in
Yeah.
England and stuff like that, so you would have been, and like
More
that,
exposed
so
to
that you would have been a lot more
British
exposed
culture.
because your parents well
Yeah.
and whatever. So like, yeah. But whereas I would have known the name,
Yeah.
because I don't know when that first Louis Theroux documentary came out about.
Yeah, I remember watching that, but I was like, who is he?
Yeah, I would have known from my parents.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that this child from
Yes.
2002,
Because we were all, I was watching Teletubbies at that time, probably before that.
so 28 years later, so it's 2030.
Yeah.
So he's probably mid-30s. Like, if he was 8, say,
Yeah.
36.
Yeah, like,
An 8-year-old, I don't think would know who Jimmy Savile was.
yeah.
Especially because they'd be younger than I was.
Mm.
And like I said, I just thought it was a really distasteful choice.
Yeah, they could have picked anyone.
Yeah.
Or just another presenter, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have 100,000
Now that has, yeah,
allegations.
yeah,
Like, not even allegations.
yeah. Like I know you said that maybe it's to show that this character is evil because of what we know now,
Yeah.
but also,
It
didn't
just
have
felt
to
too
do that.
unnecessary.
Yeah,
Now, as well, they're saying it could be, like you said, Cillian Murphy's be like you said, Cillian Murphy's in the next one.
apparently.
So we're be a choice for two main characters in a movie to be called Jim.
Okay.
Like, are they all worshipping Jim? Because he's obviously, we know he's survived now, even though we haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Are they followers of Jim? And he's the next
Yeah.
Jim in line.
I don't know.
But
But was the child's name not Jimmy?
I can't remember if it was at the start. I don't know. I can't remember if he said Jimmy Run or
Yeah.
she was. No, she would have said yeah, Run.
I think so.
Yeah, like you said, just
Just bad choice, I
Very
think.
tasteless.
Yeah, very tasteless. And like surprised that that was
approved.
approved
Yeah. Yeah.
at all.
Just let him die. Like a lot of people.
Approved.
Yeah. Approved.
Approved. Approved.
Like a lot of people are saying this is one of the best movies ever, best movie of the year, and like it hasn't had that buzz. But I suppose the only movie we drastically disagreed on was Beau is Afraid, maybe Avatar. But I loved it. I think good art polarizes.
Yeah.
Art isn't meant to be love.
And at the end of the day, we're talking about it.
Exactly. And I will go see the next one.
Oh, I'm gonna see the next two. I don't
Yeah,
want to take
well,
that popcorn.
no,
I'll have to see how it ends. If Cillian Murphy's in it, I'm watching it.
I'm in it.
Yeah. Just have him stand there as a zombie for 2 hours. I'll watch that.
Yeah,
Just follow him around.
zombie around.
Yeah.
I think it was hinted that the emaciated guy was
Yeah, that was a fucking...
Rim Tickler.
Yeah. Everyone was commenting on it and they were like, oh, Cillian Murphy. And I was like, no, he has not reprised the role as a zombie. So like that was... They knew what they were doing by hiring that man.
Carrot Dangle. Oh yeah.
But he is hired for those roles. I think like he is an emaciated man.
Yeah, he's just really skinny. That's it.
That's his
He's
shtick.
not unhealthy, like.
No, I don't think so.
He's an art dealer or something.
Is he? That's his shtick.
So I was thinking, it's that time in the video where I'm gonna have to ask you to do a rating. So on a scale of yesterday to Trainspotting, where we rank? Yesterday to Trainspotting, where are we ranking this Danny Boyle film?
Well, I've never seen Yesterday.
Have you not?
No.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, well, I really wanted to see it.
It was.
I tend to like shit films, except for this one.
It wasn't rubbish. It was just.
Meh.
Oh yeah, like there's no resolution to the problem.
Yeah, see, you're a resolutions man.
But write the script.
Also, yeah. Just have us finish it. Start and end. It's main storytelling. Start and end.
3-act structure.
Yeah.
Middle end.
Yeah. That's what we're taught in English class.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be diplomatic about it
Yeah.
because I was very disappointed. It wasn't a bad film,
Yes.
but I'm trying to separate my own feelings. Like, if I was to just do it off feelings alone, I'd give it a 2.
Oh.
Yeah, like I was so disappointed because I really loved 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
So I was, and like just like that, the extra music and the way it wasn't done, like I would have done it on, and like there's so many things I'm like, I could have done that so much better, would have been so much better. But it wasn't a bad film.
Yeah.
And I will go and see it because as much as we're like, well, it was uncouth to put a Jimmy Savile person.
Uncouth?
Well, maybe it's not. Maybe we're reading into it.
Oh no, it is.
Okay.
This side it is.
Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
Oh, prick.
And Alex Garland.
It has made me want more. It's left me going, I need to see what they do with this because it's
Yeah.
so fucking mad.
Yeah. I
So
don't
it keeps me wanting it.
Like you said, for some reason I know I will go see
I'm like a dog with a bone. You're just dangling it in front of me. I'm like,
The dog hasn't got the ball between them.
does it mean? I'm like, I'm the dog. Like, ah!
Yeah. Right, get the
I'm
ball.
the dog without the bone. I'm like, ah! So I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a 5.
5.
Yeah.
I think I do 6.5.
Okay. I'm cutthroat.
Yeah. Like,
I just have too many ill feelings.
would you advise people to see it?
See, a lot of people I know, I don't think have seen 28 Days Later.
Really? People don't?
Yeah, so I'd be like, watch that, and then if you want to see that. And loads of people I've seen online were like, I've never seen it before, but this makes me want to go see 28 Days Later now. It's so good. I just think that, like that, I would, if someone went to see it in the cinema, like if they were going to see it and they're like, oh, I'm thinking of seeing that, I'd be like, okay, have you seen the first one? If you haven't, you don't necessarily need to see it first. But I would highly recommend watching the new one first and then going back to the old one, because the old one's so good, so you're just going to disappointed.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I decided to give it a 6.5
Okay.
out of 10. Probably, yeah, I think you summed it up. Watch that and then watch the previous one. But because the previous one is just so much better. And like I said, I will go see the sequel. But then I don't know, depending how that goes, that I might abandon it like I did with Star Wars.
We can get a voucher for the cinema and go see it.
Yeah. Or super chat. Go read it out.
Yeah. See how the next one goes.
Yeah. Thanks for making. Or super chat. Go read it out. Super chat. Go read it out.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da-da-da.
Thanks for making it this far into the video. Super chat. Go read it out. Thanks for making it this far into the video. Please hit that subscribe button. We're at about 840 subs. Gotta get to the magic number 1,000 by the 9th of December to hit that monetization and get that AdSense revenue. If you like this review, right here, click that, and there's a playlist full of reviews that we've done. And as always, thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to where we first met. In the horror regret. Uncouth.